Flour is flour, right? Wrong. If you're keeping, say, the same bag of flour on hand for all uses, you're doing yourself a disservice. Keep watching for the brands you should and shouldn't be picking up at the grocery store. This self-rising flour appears most often on southern shelves and is known best by biscuit makers. Martha White Foods became an early champion of self-rising flour and cornmeal, and they were among the first to offer basic baking mixes. They designed their self-rising flour with a goal of minimizing time in the kitchen and streamlining family recipes. This flour's greatest strength is also its chief weakness, however. While there are still great shortcuts to traditional baked goods, Martha White's primary products all have too many bells and whistles for other kinds of baking. It's enough to throw off the chemistry for many baking endeavors. If, for example, your recipe calls for baking soda or salt, you'll have to attempt some math or cross your fingers to adjust the measurements. The flour may have more leavening than you need. It may have less. It's hard to tell and easy to miscalculate. That restricts the range and usefulness of the brand's all-purpose alternatives, too. Martha White is good for biscuits and pancakes, but it's a gamble for nearly every other kind of baking. Swans Down makes cake flour. And that's pretty much it. Made from the softest part of winter wheat kernels, it's 27 times softer than all-purpose flours. The texture is important for cakes. Because Swans Down is so fine and soft, cakes hold moisture a little better without developing a chewy bread-like texture. Their product is the kind passed down through generations of bakers, but those bakers can only use it in specific recipes like cupcakes, pancakes, and buns. It's another case of a flour company so focused on a single feature, it compromises their general utility. Swans Down offers no unbleached or all-purpose flours. Swans Down stands so low in the ranks because while the cake is delicious, it stands alone. There is only one kind of flour to see here, and the company hasn't tried to spread its wings in any meaningful way. An organic brand well known for its non-GMO ingredients, Arrowhead Mills offers lots of whole grain flours, including gluten-free alternatives for bakers with allergies. All their flours are unbleached, and in addition to white all-purpose, spelt, and whole wheat flours, they offer flours made from everything from oats to coconuts. Arrowhead Mills works to make flour buyers feel good about purchasing. The brand's commitment to environmental sustainability influences all its products. They don't focus on just what type of grain they harvest or at what time of year they grow crops. Their organic flours come from fields without harmful pesticides or herbicides. Farmers use natural fertilizers, and when possible, the brand buys locally to shrink the environmental impact of carbon emissions from transportation. As wholesome as Arrowhead Mills products may be, they take some time, patience, and talent to use in many recipes. They have some problems with consistency, and the products have a short shelf life. Finally, blending different types of gluten-free flours may lead to better bakes, but that is a high-effort endeavor with no guaranteed payoff.
My name is Mike, and I'm here to bake, the cake.
White Lily has the softest kind of southern charm, but that doesn't always work to its advantage. Like Martha White and Swans Down, it is made with a very particular cuisine in mind, and this specialization hampers its flexibility. There's also a clear difference between the protein content of the most popular flour brands in the American South versus the national brands. White Lily's bleached all-purpose flour, for instance, has about 9 grams of protein per cup. Comparable products from national brands have at least 11 grams of protein per cup. What difference does it make? Flours with lower protein generally do better in biscuits and pancakes, while high-protein flour makes good bread. White Lily even offers self-rising products to keep breakfast making simple. This is another brand passed down through families, and even the packaging suggests half the brand's appeal lies in nostalgia. Unfortunately, nostalgia has its limits. This brand does a few things well, but the truth is White Lily is still a little hung up on self-rising flours, and the handful of available options sets limits for adventurous bakers and their doughs. It shouldn't be a surprise that this dough and biscuit brand has its own flour. The company has been making flour since the 1800s, and its best trait is consistency. General Mills bought the brand in 2001, and it's held to the cereal giant's rigorous standards. That may bring mixed emotions to a certain doughboy, but it means great things for anyone who wants a flour to behave the same way every time in every recipe. The brand features 7 kinds of flour, including all-purpose, self-rising, whole wheat, bread, and unbleached. 2 gluten-free choices, almond and organic coconut, round out the list. Pillsbury has all the basics covered, but as it stands, customers often have to choose between flour that's ideal for their baking project or one best suited to their nutritional preferences. You can have bread flour or unbleached flour, for example, but you can't have unbleached bread flour. As part of a mega company, the truth is Pillsbury flour is a keeper of the status quo. It's straightforward, it's reliable. It doesn't offer much beyond that, but in the name of dense cakes and fallen bread dough, it's worth mentioning just how important consistency is in the kitchen.
Stacy, it looks like you had a little trouble there.
Yeah, I messed up. I thought if I pretended to cry, you wouldn't notice that my cake was bad.
The great problem with gluten-free flours is right in their name. They have no gluten. Traditional baking relies on the sticky structures it forms in bread to prevent collapse and make bread chewy rather than crumbly. Although gluten's absence hits hardest in the world of bread making, every other baked good suffers too. However, there is an exception. Cup for Cup is a gluten-free, non-GMO flour that emphasizes taste over chemistry. Its stealthy gluten-free flour is great for cakes and cookies, and it avoids the pitfalls of the competition. This multi-purpose flour behaves and tastes very much like all-purpose wheat flour. Will your sourdough recipe survive with this flour? Probably not. But your cupcakes will taste right, and you won't have to create your own blend of gluten-free flours every time you want to bake. It is very expensive, unfortunately, which costs it a rank. This brand takes a shot at everything. They have bleached, unbleached, whole, and organic flours that range from all-purpose to pastry. The brand sells to both private consumers and professional kitchens, which may be its bigger market. Robin Hood has a flour for just about any kind of baking. They have 4 different kinds of all-purpose flour, multiple gluten-free alternative flours, 2 kinds of bread flour, a cake and pastry flour, and 2 different blending flours. This goes without mentioning specialty mixes, of course. One of the greatest problems with this flour is that it's hard to find. It's owned by the Canadian Smucker Company and appears most often on Canadian shelves. Everyone else has to shop online or hunt in specialty shops. The most popular flour in America by a landslide, Gold Medal flour is a picture-perfect kitchen staple that does a good job touching many applications with only 8 core products. Just as importantly, the same thing goes into every bag, every time for consistent results. According to the brand's history page, the medal on the front of every bag was inspired by the flour's sweeping win of the top 3 Miller's International Exhibition prizes in 1880, and the brand has focused on maintaining that reputation. The company has had lots of time to perfect consistency. Although far from a specialty flour company, Gold Medal has a firm grasp of the basics, and for most applications, they're going to have what you need. It's also easy to find, which sets it above some of the smaller brands. Despite the name, Gold Medal isn't a flashy brand. The biggest rave devoted customers have is about its reliability, which may not sound exciting, but keep in mind that while exciting bakes make good stories, they rarely end in good bread. Use Gold Medal and cakes, cookies, and bread turn out well, and those delicious finished products, they do make for good stories.
Run, run, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man!
You're a monster!
A fun name isn't everything, but every once in a while, a brand tries to live up to its label. King Arthur Baking Company has been around in one form or another since the 1700s. That's a lot of time to learn and grow, and this company certainly has. The truth of King Arthur flour lies in its products.
They have nearly 40 types of flour and specialty flour blends, which makes them the perfect brand for anyone who loves to experiment with baking.
One of the brand's greatest claims to fame is the 12.7% protein content of their bread flour. This gives dough the strength to stand and boosts a yeast-based project's chance of success. If that isn't enough for the dough of your dreams, they offer high-gluten flour with 14.2% protein. Employee-owned, King Arthur Baking Company works hard to not just look good, but to actually do good. They even hold themselves accountable via B Corp, an organization that rates businesses on their engagement, responsibility, and sustainability. Best of all, their flour makes consistently great bread and other baked goods, so they're easy to love. With dozens of flours for sale, Bob's Red Mill belongs in any kitchen.
There are many gluten-free options, flours tailored to specific diets, and several different wheat flours.
The extreme variety makes the brand popular with bakers who can't have gluten and prefer a hands-on solution. No single alternative flour can do everything wheat flour does, so some of the biggest Bob's Red Mill fans use the brand's variety to make their own custom flour blends. The variety here is enough to guarantee that even the most experimental baker won't get bored. The company revolves around around health, a healthy business creating healthy food while promoting a healthier future for the planet and community. They source what they can locally and make sure they're trading fairly when they can't. Renewable energy helps power their business, and they get involved with local initiatives to address everything from food waste to recycling. To top it all off, the employees own the company. Bakers get lots of great flour with the flexibility to bake with, and the business itself reinvests some good in the world. This all makes for a winning combo. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more mashed videos about kitchen pantry staples are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.